All right, we are live. Welcome to the Young Guns podcast. It's been a while since we've had a show, but it's good to be on tonight. Just me and Jacques here, Pro Steel. Thanks for coming, Pro Steel, Jacques.
Don't worry
Or
about it. I'm
I
always
like to
there
call
for my
you
people.
Jacques. Uh, Before we start, we'd just like to let everyone know you can find us over on gunchannels.com. Come participate over there. And if you want to be part of the podcast, you're more than welcome to send one of us a message. Just send me a direct message or just, say, hey, I'd like to be in the podcast, and we can let you in. And you can just hang out in the chat room and comment whatever you want to do over there. Make a profile. It's free. It's fun. It's great. Go do it. So I'd like to do that shout out. And also like to say, take a moment and recognize all the veterans who have sacrificed their lives. It is Memorial Day. Tomorrow will be Memorial Day. So I'd just like to, all the veterans out there and all the people who have lost people and family relatives in service, just like to thank them as well. And hope everyone has a nice Memorial Day. So,
Land of the free because of the brave. Don't forget.
exactly. So before we get started, we'll just kind of BS for a few minutes, about what we've been up to. What have you been up to, Jacques? I know you said something about your shield.
I got quite a few things going on. We'll see how long you want me to run talking about them. So, for the very first time today, I had my first pecan pie. Damn, the stuff is good, but I don't think I could have more than one piece because it is so buttery filled and so sugary filled and so tasty filled. And I also broke my shield because I was trying to gunsmith it, and I went just that little bit too far. Just that little bit, and that's all it takes.
Just one more pass. It'll be fine. One more pass. Just a little bit more.
Try half of a pass.
Wow.
But I was trying to gunsmith my trigger bar, and so now my sear doesn't even catch, basically. So I have a non-functioning shield. I ordered the parts. Hopefully it's the right parts. If not, I'll have to get them directly from Smith. We'll see how that works.
And you said, I missed the second part. I had to put my mic down for a second. You said you ate your first pecan pie, or pecan pie, however people say it. And that's all you said, that in your shield, right?
Yep, and then I found out that I'm going out to California on June 29th with a very good friend of mine. And I have some very good friends out there, so that is going to be sweet. Camping along the entire road.
Oh, nice. That'll be really fun.
Dude, that's going to be awesome. And there is also something else I can't think of, but I'll think of it later, I'm sure.
So for me, I wasn't shooting much this month because I had some other family stuff going on the weekends, which, it is what it is. So I finally got to shoot a match yesterday, which was pretty much, it is my favorite match of the month, usually. So it was good. I got to shoot that one. It was a really nice day. Had about, I think we had 68 people show up for it to shoot. And I did pretty well, actually. Probably my best match yet. Probably my best or second best match. In limited division, which is what I shoot, limited division, there was 23 or no 28. There was 28 limited shooters, and I came in 9th place, so that was pretty nice.
That's better than 10th, man.
And then I came in second in my class, which is C class. I should have freaking been first. Like the guy who beat me beat a master class shooter, so I was like, what the heck? How's a C class shooter? He came like in third place. So
is that like a Camaro and like a hot hatch derby?
Yeah, I was like, either A, he's a sandbagger, or B, he just had a really great match. And if that's the case, that's awesome. So I had no idea who he was, never even seen his name before. I was like, who the heck is a C class shooter who's coming in like
Casey Eusebio in disguise?
Exactly.
Exactly. Like, hey, what's up? I heard you were good.
Yeah, but it was fun. We had a really good squad, and it was funny that people were. We had the reason we had so many limited shooters is because a lot of the guys who shoot limited usually shoot. There was a couple of them there shooting limited who usually shoot open, and it was funny watching one of them because he's so used to a red dot sight, and so you hold the gun a little bit different when you're using a red dot sight. You're holding it a little bit. You're looking a little bit above the pistol,
Mm-hmm.
So he was so used to that with the open gun. When he shot his iron sighted gun, he was shooting so freaking high, like it was hilarious. He's
shooting above the sea.
Yeah, and he's a grandmaster. He's grandmaster limited and grandmaster open too. But he was like, I mean, he shoots limited when he says when he's off, when he's got time off, just to kind of kick back.
Shot the best groups that were never on the paper.
Yeah, and he's a really good shooter. He was actually his picture was actually in front sight for the May-June issue. But yeah, he's really cool guy. And anyways, it was fun watching them shoot limited guns. And then what's the best part about it was the guy who shot and won limited class was a production shooter. So a guy who normally shoots, not a guy who normally shoots production with a Glock. I actually know him. He's a pretty cool guy. He usually shoots production with a Glock. Shot limited just because he had some 40 ammo laying around and he won. And he was shooting a Glock as well, same gun I was. He was shooting Glock 35, and he beat like 4 or 5 people shooting STIs.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great.
Saying, it's not the gear training.
Right. For them to a certain point.
I mean, muscle memory is everything.
Yeah, he's a really good shooter. He's actually an A-class production, but he's about to move up to master, and it was fun. Fun match, though.
Pretty quick here, I think.
So yeah, other than that, it's pretty good. Oh, and I would like to add, I shot real bullets, quote unquote real. I mean, my bullets are real that I cast, but I shot copper bullets at the match. So
wait, copper?
Yes, I know. I'm in the 1% class now.
Holy shit. That's insane. Copper bullets? Like full copper? Like Barnes?
No, you know what I mean. They're copper plated.
Oh, bronze. Okay, yeah. FMJ stuff, okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean. I mean, they had copper in them as opposed to my all red bullets.
Yeah, I thought you meant like the Barnes full bronze bullets that cost $1 a bullet. I was like, wow, how'd that work?
Yeah, it'd be insanely expensive.
Spent $400 on bullets.
Yeah, so it was good. I enjoyed shooting those a lot. Hopefully now I'm going to be able to afford to shoot them for all my matches, and I'll just use my lead bullets to practice with. And I also scored some powder while I was there. Well, I was meeting the guy at the match. I talked to him before, and so I got some gunpowder, a pretty good deal on that. So it was a good match.
Very nice. What'd you get?
Some stuff I've already been using, Hodgin long shot.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, we just started getting a ton of that in all of a sudden. We also have Varget every day now. I never thought I'd see that.
It's a rifle powder, isn't it?
Varget is the 223 powder, from what I understand.
It's Hodgin, isn't it? Or
yes,
I thought so. But anyways, we don't get too much into reloading, so hang on a second. It looks like the gun channel side is not working. I'm gonna put the YouTube link in for everybody over there if they want to watch from that side. It was doing that last time we had a chat too. Anyways, we're going to start on topic. As you guys, if you saw the title, it was 2 guns equals 1 gun equals none. And I got this idea out of the Front Sight magazine, which is a magazine USPSA releases every month, 2 months. And the article that was in here was actually, it was like a little short interview with Travis Tomasi. It was called 10 Questions with Travis Tomasi. If you haven't heard of Travis Tomasi, pretty much the little thing they have right here, description is he's a world and national champion from Remington Arms. He just came off of his high overall limited division win at the Alabama sectional. And these questions were sent by members on the USPSA Facebook page. So anyways, they asked a bunch of questions, and I was reading through it, just kind of seeing what he was saying and stuff. You know, always trying to learn from the masters. And it got to one part where one of the guys asked, you know, what tools do you put in your range bag, stuff like that, at major matches to keep your guns running and stuff like that. And I know we did a chat earlier on, you know, what we carry in our range bags, stuff like that. But specifically, he was going on a list of stuff he carries, and he got to a part where he stopped and said, if you don't carry a spare handgun, I recommend also having the following spare parts on hand. And I was like, well, you know, that's a really good idea. I never thought about it because, you know, sometimes you don't always have an extra gun, especially if you're shooting like a $2,000 or $3,000 you know, double stack 2011 style gun. Some people can't afford 2 guns right off the bat. Or for anybody like us, you know, even though we're shooting, you know, anybody in college shooting cheaper guns like Glocks, whatever, still, you know, it's kind of hard to buy, you know, 2 $500 Glocks at one time or something like that. So it might be a while before we can get a backup gun. And so I thought it'd be kind of neat to talk about, you know, how you can offset that. Because, I mean, I personally don't have any duplicate guns that I could take to a match. And I do have a duplicate upper for my Glock. I have a 9mm upper, but I mean, if something happened to my frame, I'd pretty much be screwed unless I had the parts to fix it. I don't know. Do you have any duplicates like that, Jock, like for backup?
Well, I don't have duplicates, but in reference to my shield screw up, I had to carry my FNX 45 for the past week now, and I'm still going to have to for the next 2 weeks possibly. And for those of you that never done it or never thought about it, going from the smallest gun that I consider like to be a gun I would carry still, the shield, to the biggest gun I would see anybody carry other than a Desert Eagle probably. I mean, it's a double stack 45 and it's got a freaking huge magazine that sticks out below the grip like an inch. It is a world of difference, and it reminded me that I should always have spare parts on hand for at least
At least you had
every gun.
at least you had another gun, another handgun.
Well, yeah, but the week before that, my extractor was broke on the FNX, so I kind of got lucky.
Yeah. Just good timing, right? So, anyways,
so always have spare parts for everything if you can afford it, and if not, just don't be a retard like me.
yeah. So what Travis was saying, and also if you guys don't know who Travis is, he, like I said, he's a competition shooter for Remington. He shoots for Remington now, but he's also very famous from that video on YouTube. It's titled something crazy like "World's Fastest Reload." Pretty much just a guy standing in front of the camera, and he can reload and get the magazine into the gun before the other magazine is like past his knee. Pretty much, it's insane.
He's the boss.
He used to shoot for Team Army in the early days, and there's a lot of really good short videos on YouTube of him like going over the tips and stuff that I've watched and learned from. So that's who he is. I'm sure the name is very common for a lot of people, but anyways, so the parts he listed off was just I think we can add some to this, but he said an extractor, an ejector, thumb safety, set of springs, rear sight, grip screws / bushings, and complete pin set, hammer pin, and sear pin. So that's for, he's shooting a 1911 style gun, so that's why he has like a thumb safety and things like that on there. But I thought they were pretty good. I mean, there's a few things I would add, I guess, would be some maybe spare trigger parts. Well, for 1911 it's a little bit different, but for a Glock, I know I have pretty much I can almost build a whole nother trigger with the parts that I have for my Glock.
Every gun is different, but always have springs. That's the main thing, is springs. Like they'll snap or they'll just lose all springness. And yeah, trigger stuff. Like say for some reason your sear releases your trigger too early, or something, like just something happens that you never thought of, and it's like, oh, well, I don't have a sear. Oh, my transfer bar snapped. Oh, guess what? I have another one.
Exactly. You just go fix it and keep shooting, because when you're, driving, possibly even for me, local matches sometimes are an hour away. Driving an hour, spending, paying an entry fee, putting your time and effort into to go shoot, or even a bigger risk is putting that gun, I mean, I guess you can't really, if you had a backup, you'd want to have it on your person, but if in a self-defense situation, so I guess you could kind of spin that off into a whole thing of having two guns when you carry, having a backup gun, a bug gun, as some people say.
A mouse gun.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, he said extractor, which I think is very important. We're going to go back down the list here and kind of elaborate.
Yes, as I found out.
Gun will not run without an extractor at all. I mean,
well,
it might.
In my experience, it was 50-50.
Yeah, so
that's basically don't bet your life on it.
Yeah, it would be hell in a match too.
Oh, yeah.
So then an ejector.
See, but then it'd be fun because it'd be like, look, I'm practicing my clears.
It's a malfunction
Practicing
drill.
Malfunction drills, man. Don't worry.
The match just turned into one big malfunction drill practice session.
I just want to see all the grandmasters shoot with like hodgepodge guns.
Oh,
they're always doing clear like drills while they're shooting. I just want to see how good they really are. That's
another thing I was gonna say that was funny. Saturday at the match, one of the guys who normally shoots open, he was actually shooting single stack, and something was wrong with his magazines, and literally like he would shoot and it would jam. I think the magazine was, every time he shot, the magazine was releasing out of the gun or something. I don't know exactly what was going on, but he would shoot, had to bang, tap rack bang. Well, eventually he figured out he didn't have to rack it, and he would just hit the magazine, and the gun would close back, and he would in the battery, and he would shoot, and he did like every 2 rounds for a couple of stages.
Was this with what, a 1911?
Yeah, it was
Yep.
so funny. It was something to do with his magazines, I think. It was, but it was. I mean, it was funny, but at the same time, it was like, oh my god, I feel so bad for him. But
But he took it all in stride. Like, I got
yeah, he
this.
did. He shot calm and everything, and finished his stages out and everything. So it's good. That's actually the guy I bought the powder from, and but anyways,
Ah,
it was funny. He usually shoots open. He's pretty awesome at open, actually. So anyways, going down the list, yeah, extractor, very important. Ejector, that's also, I mean, I don't think I've never shot my Glock without an ejector. I've shot it with the wrong ejector in it. Well, I've shot it
well,
with a,
ejectors are kind of, they're usually integrated into the trigger area.
right, yeah, it's like the way
Most
the Glocks
guns.
are. It's
Well,
embedded
on
in
the
the trigger.
striker guns are almost always held in with a cross pin that holds the entire housing in. So
Right. And then with the 1911, I guess it's just, well, it's just fitted down into the frame, isn't it?
yeah, it's actually peened in.
I don't know how you change that. I don't know how easy it would be to change it, but I
If you're
mean, you
breaking or
could.
screwed.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, hold on,
Okay.
let me look at a picture of 1911 real quick because I'm almost positive.
Well, I have mine out right now.
Yeah, but my Google images, like not Google images, camera quality always sucks on these for me.
Yeah, so you don't think it's something you could, I mean, I know since you've been a gunsmith and everything, you don't think it'd be something you could change, like on the range table?
You don't want me to because I'll screw it up.
Well, I'm saying no, like nobody could probably change it. I mean,
Oh yeah, I don't know, dude. There's some badass gunsmiths out there, but yeah, you don't.
I
In
guess it's
theory, you're
all,
supposed to have two of them. Yeah, it is peened in from the side. Yep.
so I mean, really, it's in all the tools you have. So if you have the right tools, I mean, you don't have to have a vise, do you? I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, you do. Hell yeah, you do. These
Oh,
things are peened
okay.
in
Never
fairly
mind.
sturdily.
I mean, that's when you get your big, chunky buddy to sit on the gun while you knock it out. Like,
What's that, your
like
chunky buddy?
hop up on this table real quick. Sit on this.
Hey, Bubba!
Pop, pop, and pop it out.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, for a Glock, it'd be extremely easy. It's just like you said. It's just
Take
pop
the housing out.
pop two pins and put, or not even 2 pins, 1 pin. Yeah, you can just pop the 1 pin and not and the trigger housing hinges out of the gun, and you can replace it. All right, so that's pretty important. Thumb safety. I've never. I mean, my 1911 has one, so I guess you kind of have to have it.
If your safety goes out of time, that's different than breaking, though. I don't know if you want to talk about that because if your safety goes out of time and you're 1911, you have a full auto 1911 possibly.
Oh, nice. That would not be legal in the match or legal at
Well,
all.
I mean, it'd be fun as hell, but then you'd be like, oh, repercussions. Damn.
Oh yeah, but you'd be disqualified, or they'd be like, okay, you can't shoot that anymore.
Call the cops here.
No, I wouldn't do that, but it'd be pretty scary too. Probably have to go change your shorts. That's one thing you didn't add to the list. You don't carry, probably also carry a spare pair of shorts.
That's a good idea. That's something that needs to be in everyone's range bag.
Extra pair of clothes and underwear. So anyways, so yeah, thumb safety. Set of springs. This is very important. I can testify to this because I've changed springs before and it sucked, but I was able to fix it and keep shooting the rest of the match fine. And that was, I mean, set of springs. That's a pretty broad term because all different guns have different springs for different things. But for a Glock, you get your recoil. Any gun, pretty much, you get your recoil spring. And but the springs I had to change a lot were it's when I was screwing around with striker springs. And that what it does, it changes the how fast, how much pressure, how much force the firing pin has behind it. The heavier the spring, the faster the firing pin is going to hit that primer. So I was using Magnum primers and stuff, and even with non-Magnum primers, I had a couple of issues with it not wanting to set the striker off or set the primer off on the first strike. It would, I'd be shooting,
So
pow,
you're
run through the stage, and click.
Are you
And
talking about you're using a lighter spring and it was having issues or what?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause it,
Well, for those that don't know, Glocks actually are designed to set off NATO primers. Like
yeah.
that factory spring is that strong for
It
a
has
reason.
it has a freaking 5 pound striker spring.
Well, it's so it can set off NATO primers, which are ridiculously hard. They're not Eastern Bloc hard, but they're hard.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why there's another part of the reliability of them. But when you go screwing with crap like that, you got to expect it. You got to kind of tune it. But yeah. So I had a couple matches where I would be shooting, and I might have 2 or 3 light strikes per stage. So rack the slide and keep going. But yeah, having those on hand is very good. Recoil springs, they can go at any time pretty much.
Yes.
And I've had that happen to me. I've only gone through one. Well, I switched guns, so I haven't really gotten to break this other one in yet. But when I was shooting my 9mm, it happened to me one day. I was just shooting. I was actually testing some hammos out over my chrono, and then I was shooting, and then I was looking on the sights. I wasn't taking my eyes off the sights because I was just shooting the chrono, waiting for it to reset, and shooting over the chrono again and again. And then I noticed something looked different, and I was like, "Oh, the gun didn't go back into battery." I was like, "That's weird." I was like, "Oh crap!" I'm like, "I guess the recoil spring's done."
That's
So
weird.
I finished shooting over the chrono, went inside and changed it. I was like, "Well, I'm glad that happened." Now, I mean, I have them with me at the match, but it kind of sucks. I kept having to tap on the back of your slide to get the gun to shoot. So yeah, recoil springs, and there's all kinds of other little doodad springs on the single action, double action guns, with you got trigger return springs and all that kind of mess, which I've never messed with, but they can be kind of ticky. So
Trigger return springs, if they break and you don't have them, you are pretty much screwed. And they suck to replace, but if you got to do it, you got to do it. So you might as well carry one of them.
oh yeah, CZs are really known for that. And CZs and tank
SIGs suck. Their trigger return spring is goofy.
SIG?
Well, wait a minute.
Is that what you said?
No, it's not the return spring. It's something that puts it back to half cock, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it presets it for that lighter trigger. It sucks to replace.
Right.
But I don't know anybody that's shooting a SIG. Well, it doesn't have to be competitive. That's just for like a range gun, period. So yeah. For handguns, I would say pretty much that's mostly everything. At least what I can think of.
Oh, there's a few more in the list. We're not done yet. So he goes on to mention, let's see, rear sight, which is, I've seen that happen as well. I've seen someone's sight fall apart at a match, especially if you have an adjustable one where like the leaf spring or something popped out. Forget what it was, and it wouldn't stay in the dovetail. So I do have a spare pair of sights. I don't.
Well, have you ever thought about how you're going to install them in the field?
Well, yeah, I mean, use a punch.
Yeah, you got to hit some of them pretty damn hard. So.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But I mean, well, heck, you could just take it. If you can get it started in the dovetail, you can sit there and you can just knock. If there's a wooden table or something, you can just sit there.
I mean,
you can just tap it on the just knock the slide in on a piece of wood.
The only thing I see wrong there is you're probably going to mess up your slide or your sight somehow. But if that doesn't matter to you, then
What, on wood? Yeah. No, I wouldn't be. Well,
you can slip and hit your hammer on your slider. Stuff happens when you're messing around with impromptu tools.
Well, I'm saying if you didn't even have a hammer.
Oh, that would suck ass then.
Because you could tap it against a piece of wood. It's not gonna mess up a metal slide. I mean, it might make it like discolored, but you can usually wipe it off.
Yeah, no, if you're just using like a giant chunk, you should be fine. But
right, yeah, and then you just tap it in. The only thing is, once you get it past the edge of the slide, it's gonna be hard getting it to the center.
Yes, it will.
But that's why you carry the proper tools, like we said, punches and stuff.
Exactly.
So I don't know why he didn't say front sight. I guess because they don't really have a
front sight's the one I've almost always seen issues with. The rear sights I've never seen an issue with.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't say anything about front sights. I mean, I guess because maybe on his gun it's like machined with the slide or something. Like, I don't know.
No.
Who knows how his gun's set up, but well, I mean, it could have came set in like from the factory, and they could have been like it could be like super.
I would say a front sight's more important than a rear sight if you're gonna really choose one.
Yeah, like I have a set. I mean, I would say carry a sight set. That's what I have in my bag.
Pretty much carry a sight set. That's about it.
I mean, all it is it's factory block sights, but that's better than nothing. Better than shooting with a flat top.
Well, you're shooting at the daytime too, so that's really all you need.
Right. Yeah.
If it's like an actual carry gun, and you're at the range and you're like, oh, I'm actually carrying this, but your sights go flying. Well, you better make sure you have the same sights you had.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's kind of like tailor everything to the gun once again.
Yep. So carry sight sets. That's a tongue twister. And
Well, carry
then
the proper sight set, I would say.
right. So then the next thing he said was grip screws and bushings, which I never even thought about it because well
That's a 1911 specific thing is the bushing, but
right
screws, yeah, there's some guns.
for a Glock it's the frame, So but for yeah 911, I mean I guess it'd be pretty crappy to shoot a gun without grips on it. And it's very possible that you can blow your grips off or something and not screw your gun up because I've seen it happen. I mean, I've seen, if you get some like a bad round or something and say, your gun blows a magazine out on the gun and it's not on the gun and it blows the grips off in the process. Everything else with the gun might be fine because all that excess pressure usually goes, down out the magazine and through the
Well, it's the biggest open spot.
right. So after that point, your gun might be fine, but look, you don't have any grips. You just cracked them or whatever. So it's like, oh, it's gonna suck to shoot a match with no grips. So it's a good point.
For anyone that's never done it, shoot a 1911 without grips. Awesome.
I don't think I've done it. I've like put it together without them before. I'm like, this looks kind of weird. I was like, that'd be kind of neat to shoot. It's like I could see myself getting pinched a lot.
It's so thin without grip screws or bushings. Holy crap, that gun is like PPK small. Smaller almost, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Thin wise, yeah.
So the last thing he said was complete pin set, which is kind of what we said, hammer pin and sear pin.
Yes.
He's talking about all the pins like in the gun that holds everything in place.
Yeah, basically, you want to carry an entire extra gun with you, like what you said.
Internals. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the only thing you'd be leaving out pretty much like a slide and a barrel and a frame.
Yeah, the expensive stuff. The reason you couldn't buy an entire second gun in the first place.
Yeah, which I don't have extra pins. That's one thing I don't have. I might have a few extra ones that are already in the parts, but that is one thing I should probably get for my Glock is some more pins.
Yep, and for anybody that is like very DIY and you want to just keep it as cheap as you can, well, believe it or not, and I was actually taught this in school, that if you can't get a proper pin, get drill rod that's really close to size, like just as close as you can get it, really, even if it's a little bigger and you got to sand it down, do it, and then cut it to length size. So it'll basically be an impromptu pin. And all you got to do is put tape on the outside and it'll work. I mean, if you got to have it right now and it's just got to work, and that's all that matters. It will work. I've seen it and I've done it.
Yeah, or you can use something like a paper clip if it's small enough.
Yep.
Wouldn't be ideal, but like you said, it would function.
But really, you want to have the proper pins.
Yeah. So that was the end of his list. Pretty much he covered. I think we added a few things along the way. One thing I will add is spare magazines. I know it's not part of the gun, but it's a big
I thought
part
that was
of
a
it.
given, kind of though.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't. I mean, I carry like at least. I mean, I only use like 2 magazines per stage, but I have 5
10.
or 6 with me. No, I don't have 10. I have 4 more at home. I have 4 more magazines that are 9mm, but I don't carry them because I'm shooting 40. And really,
I think that's really specific to what your gun is meant to do. Like if it's your concealed carry gun, you're probably going to want like 3 extra mags maybe, where if it's to your like general use, quote combat, go to war, whatever you want to call it, gun, have like 10 mags, or even if it's a race gun, have that many mags.
right.
Because it's something you're way more likely to use than your concealed carry gun, in my opinion.
Most people who are competing and stuff like that have, usually like 6 or 7 mags at the matches with them. There's no telling how many extras they have at home. So I mean, even if one breaks, they can still shoot the rest of the match. I mean, they don't use all of them at one time, except for single stack shooters. It's different. If you're shooting a low capacity gun, it's a lot
You
more.
gotta have 10 mags.
Yeah, you want to have a lot. But for someone like me, like I said, I only use 2 mags at a time per stage. If one breaks, no big deal. And that's also another reason why I carry a factory magazine. I use my factory magazine, which is like no base pad or anything. I use it as like my +1, my Barney bullet. So, I put it in the gun and chamber it, and then take that magazine out and put my extend mag in. That's also, I keep that too for another reason, is that if one of my magazine tubes breaks and I want to, put the base pad on another tube. I have that magazine tube that's pretty much brand new. So that's all that magazine ever gets used for is to chamber one round, and then I put it right back on my belt. And I never even load it at full capacity. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So that's pretty much it, I guess. I mean,
Well, I mean, I would say that's it for handguns, but if you're talking rifles, that's totally different.
I didn't even think about that.
Because rifle, well, I mean, seriously, what's going to go wrong in a rifle? Probably it'll be your bolt head in most rifles, or your bolt in general.
Right.
That's something like to afford a separate rifle, an AR or an AK. They're not terribly expensive, but they are too expensive for most people to get two of them usually.
Right.
So just go get an extra bolt. I mean, what for full bolt AR? For a full AR bolt, it's like maybe $100.
Yeah, 80 to 100, right?
Yeah, something like that. And that, I mean, it's nothing fancy, but it'll work.
Yeah, it's made to keep your gun running.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good point because although like if you're shooting like a bolt action gun or something like that, that's gonna be a little bit more expensive. But
well, yeah, but if your bolt fails, you got a lot to worry about.
Yeah, usually those guns. I mean, that's one thing though. A lot of those rifles are a little bit more, reliable. They're not as prone to breaking.
They're not reliable so much as they're just tough. They're built on much thicker locking blocks and lugs. They're literally like a square inch or 2 inch of steel on another square 2 or 3 inches of steel, whereas an AK is like not even a half an inch square.
Yeah, it's like and then all the receivers like stamped. So.
Well, that doesn't. It's not really the receiver; it's the locking apparatus that decides the strength of the gun. Like Mauser's was infamous when they first came out because they had two locking lugs in the front instead of in the rear.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made it so strong and made it so freaking copied, was that the bolt was that strong. So if you can carry a spare bolt, that's always something to do.
Yep. And then
and like with a shotgun, well, can you think of anything else for a rifle, I should say?
Not really. I mean, the bolt, like you said, pretty much covers everything. I mean, maybe trigger parts or springs or something. If you had a trigger that had a bunch of, like an adjustable trigger or something, had springs in it.
Yeah, like set screws for a trigger. That I would see.
But even then, it probably. Well, I don't know if it. Usually, they work without the set screw. They just have a lot of travel in them.
Oh yeah, but it'll suck because your trigger's inconsistent. Always blocking.
It'll still function, but if you're like at a bench press match, yeah, that would be like, well, this match is down the drain. So, other than that, maybe optics or something. But
I was about to say, yeah, because I had my I had my optic unthread on me once on my AK, and it just kind of flew off the gun. So I was like, oh, that's great. Now I'm back to iron.
What the scopes? Scope rings?
No. It was a red dot on a forward optic mount, and it just like it unthreaded, and all of a sudden it starts bouncing around. And I'm like, where's my zero? Why am I shooting like 6 feet to the left and high? And all of a sudden I just pick it up by the optic, and it unhinges its entire optic. I'm like, oh, that's great. There goes my AK into the dirt and cement.
Well, at least you had irons.
That's why you buy an AK or a backup irons on an AR.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, we're moving to talking about shotguns. I'm not a huge shotgun guy, but I don't know. What do you think?
Forearms. I've seen forearms crack more than anything.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Well, like it'd be on a pump. It'd be like actual pump.
Yeah.
Part.
Some guy called them the shuck the other day.
What?
I was like, I've never the shuck. Like, oh, that was magical.
That's what you get. That's what you get for living in Minnesota, eh?
No, it was on YouTube. Like some guy typed it in a comment. He didn't actually verbalize it. It was just a comment I read. He's like, the chuck. And I was like, what?
They say chuck with a C or shuck, like corn?
It was shuck. No, I'm pretty sure it's SH.
Yeah, that's what I would think so. That's funny. The shuck. Carry a spare shuck. Oh, what?
What? What the hell is that?
Then I guess for probably for shotgun extractor. Yeah, because I've heard a lot of
Yes.
problems with extractors on shotguns. Like even though I don't shoot 3-gun yet, I've heard a bunch of people gets around like they're talking about shotguns and reliability, and a lot of times the extractor is a big part of it. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you'll get soft rim shells and crap and all kinds of stuff, and yeah,
Yeah, it's usually the wood will crack on them. The bolt, I have almost never seen a bolt fail on a 12 gauge pump.
hmm
Like they're over engineered to be strong.
right.
But
Mostly guns I'm talking about like competition gun wise are like semi-autos too.
semi-autos, they're kind of different. Like I would say carry a separate cylinder, like gas related stuff.
Yeah, gas
Like so, if
system.
you have an M4 for some reason and you can't afford another one, as I'm guessing, like go buy an extra tappet set because your tappets can break. Um, yeah, gas guns is pretty much all cylinder related, like cylinder and piston, I should say.
Yeah, on the gas, just the gas system itself. Pretty much, and that's another thing. Go back to rifles for AR. Yeah, like a spare gas tube could be a good idea.
Yeah, if you got
Because
an AR, spare gas tube is kind of nifty to have.
honestly, I don't know if I mean, if you had one, yeah, a gas block. If you have one, why not carry it? But I think I'd be more worried about the gas tube.
See, then you just why wouldn't you just say have an entire separate upper then? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Because that ain't too expensive. Really.
Well, it depends on yeah, exactly.
Well, I
Well,
mean, the cheapest I built one is like 300,
if you're
just
shoot,
under.
if you're shooting like a Noveske gun, and then like you can have like a Palmetto upper for like if you really something happens bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. But is there anything else? I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess the final note would be if you can get 2 guns, that's even better because you don't have to worry about changing all the stuff over. But hopefully this gives people like a good idea, of what parts to get. Because a lot of people like, even for me competing, it's like I got my gun, and I was like, man, it's like I need to get parts too because some stuff doesn't always work. I kind of learned that and I was lucky I had those like talking about earlier about those striker springs. And now I carry like a little toolbox, a little actually it's a tackle box. And before I just stick them in my bag. Like when I had those striker springs, I was like I had a few springs and a little other doodads, but that was it. But now I have like a full little tackle box like you put fishing lures and stuff in, and
Yep.
I use that for all my gun parts. I've actually got a spare magazine in there too and some other stuff.
You got an entire gun in a box.
Almost, yeah, not quite. I've got an extra barrel. If I was still shooting my 9mm, I'd have my 9mm barrel in there because I have
That's
two
right.
barrels.
40.
I have 2 barrels for it, so I'd be pretty much set. Unless the slide cracked or the frame cracked, I'd be good to go.
That'd be a bit more to worry about than a spare part then. If your slider frame cracks, there's usually more going on.
Duct tape, duct tape.
Oh, dude, duct tape fixes everything.
One thing we're gonna add. Yes, one thing we need to add to this list in here is duct tape.
Duct tape, WD-40, Ballistol.
Which I am guilty. I don't have duct tape in my range bag, which is I should, because who knows when you need duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape specifically, not masking tape, not scotch tape, not electrical tape, duct tape.
Yeah,
Like 100-mile-per-hour duct tape too.
that's a good point. I was reading another article the other day. It's kind of the same format as this one. I can't remember who it was, but it was it may have been in the Front Sight magazine. I'm not sure, but it was like something like talking about what a guy carries in his bag as far as for when he's running a match and stuff. And that was one of the things because it's just so handy.
Oh,
And
it's ridiculously handy.
especially like for stage building and stuff like that. If you have like a prop that's like screwed up and you don't have time to go freaking like cut wood and screw it together, you just be like unroll the duct tape and put it together. So yeah.
You're trying to tell me you wouldn't have time to do all that? Come on now.
Well, I had a major match or something. Like,
I know.
just starting that morning. But anyway, so I guess we'll end it on duct tape then. Yeah, don't forget your duct tape. So I don't know. Is there anything else you want to add, Jacques, before you wrap it up with about 45?
Yeah, don't forget beer.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
That's after the shooting.
Oh, I didn't say while you're shooting. Come on now.
I was just making sure. I didn't know what you were inferring.
Do I look irresponsible? Oh wait.
So yeah, I guess we'll end it there. As always, guys, check us out on gunchannels.com, and we'll catch y'all later. But peace out.
Adios, amigos.